Tonight, a world-class goal machine from Walthamstow takes on a stunning superstar from Stourbridge. That's the English translation of Bayern Munich against Real Madrid. Champions League semi-final first leg, live on Talksport with former England captain Stuart Pearce alongside Jim Proudfoot.
Thank you, Adrian, and good evening to you. And when you throw in a seasoned centre-half from Cheltenham who's enjoying a great renaissance, it's a night when the Englishman abroad can play a major part in the Champions League semi-finals. An illustration of a sea change and growing willingness for the country's top talents to widen their horizons. But it's not unique even to the history of this fixture, because back in 2001, Real Madrid met Bayern in a Champions League semi-final, with future England teammates Steve McManaman and Owen Hargreaves in opposition. But in a tie that may well have been Arsenal against Manchester City, there does remain a parochial narrative to a rivalry that's been nicely cultivated amongst a series of stellar clashes over the last decade or so. Because this is the fourth time they've met in the last four of this competition since 2012. Matches that have captivated and enthralled and often proved significant catalysts to Real's success in a golden age of European dominance. And this has the makings of being a worthy part of that canon. Throw in Bayern's relative lack of Champions League glory, because winning it twice in 23 years is somewhere south of where they think they should be. The prospect of a first trophyless season in more than a decade, the imminent sacking of a popular coach, and the returns to Bavaria of Ancelotti and Kroos, and you're blessed with a tie that will have the continent talking. Bayern tonight have got Neuer in goal, Kimmich, Dyer, Kim and Mazraoui, Leimer and Goretzka, Sane, Muller and Musiala, and Kane up front. Lunin's in goal for Real, Lucas Vazquez, Rudiger, Nacho and Mendy, Valverde, Tchouaméni and Kroos, Rodrigo and Vinicius up front as split strikers, with Bellingham supporting them through the middle. Clement Turpin from France is the referee, and Stuart Pearce, the former England captain, alongside me. One of the most appetising things about tonight, no one has a clue what to expect.
No, it's exactly that. I think in the rounds leading up to this, we turned around and we had an opinion on who might win, and for varying reasons, I think this game and this tie over two legs is totally in the balance. I really do, and it's a moment of magic that will define it.
Well, Bayern Munich put out a message to their supporters begging them to wear red tonight, to turn the Allianz Arena into a sea of red, and they have, largely speaking, been able to do exactly that. This a very special encounter. Bayern in red and white shirts, but predominantly white-backed, and Real Madrid in their change kit of very dark blue. They have won 20 European titles between them. One of them's going to be at Wembley to have a shot at another. It's having vanquished the cream of the Premier League. Bayern Munich and Real Madrid face off in a Champions League semi-final for the 8th time. One hoping to salvage their season, the other to further their claims as being the very best of the best. And we're underway. Bayern kicking from right to left in this first half, working it back for Manuel Neuer. He's only 4 games short of 750 in his club career now. And his long ball forward is headed away, down as far as Eric Dyer. Mazraoui put under immediate pressure. And Dyer, who's enjoying a real Indian summer in his career, laying it back for Neuer. What a move this has been for him, from the bench at Tottenham to starting in a Champions League semi-final for Bayern Munich.
Yeah, he's been one of those players. He's used to playing abroad, playing in Portugal, I believe, wasn't he, before he come back to England. And listen, he's been a very good player for England.
Mazraoui for Kane. What an early chance this is, and a good save from Lunin, who was down to just flick the ball away. Leroy Sané it was with the effort. And Lunin got a foot or a leg to it and was able to beat it clear. But a lovely little 1-2 involving Harry Kane around the edge of the penalty area. And Bayern with a sight of goal inside 50 seconds.
Well, that was a fantastic opportunity this early on, and you fully expected him to nestle that in the far corner of the net, but the goalkeeper got a left foot to it and kept it out. Just saying about Eric Dyer, you know, he's been a very good, a very well-capped international player, so it's good to see him back on good form again.
I know that he's hopeful that he might yet be able to lever his way back into Gareth Southgate's thinking. Dyer playing a major part in the 2018 World Cup for England when he was playing in midfield rather than at centre-half. Very much a centre-half these days, alongside Kim Min-jae tonight in the absence of De Ligt. Chouameni is in possession for Real Madrid. And the ball is played down towards their right flank, where it's brought forward by Lucas Vazquez. Bellingham claiming that he was fouled, and may well have been, but he was in an offside position as the ball was played into him about 5 yards outside the penalty area. A couple of minutes gone, and Leroy Sané will be wondering how he didn't give Bayern Munich the lead.
Yeah, he's come in, he's side-footed it. To be fair to Neuer, I mean, Neuer's forte is coming out and spreading his body, isn't it? And he's done exactly that. Sorry, Lunin. Sorry, it's miles away there, Jim.
Here's Mazraoui on the left-hand side. Let's play back for Leon Goretzka. Dyer's got it again and goes square to his right-hand side for Kim Min-jae. Now out towards Joshua Kimmich, who's the man that scored the goal that got Bayern into this semi-final, the aggregate winner against Arsenal, and he's got experience. He's opened the scoring against Real Madrid in both legs of the last semi-final they played back in the 2017-18 season, 6 years ago. It was a game that Real ended up winning 2-1 here and 2-2 draw in the second leg. Semi-final in 2018, one of 7 between these two sides in this competition. Real have won the last 2, that one in 2014 as well, and they went on to win the final both times. They also beat Bayern in the quarterfinals in 2017 when Ancelotti was in charge of the Bavarians rather than Los Merengues. Lucas Vazquez to take a throw for the modern day Real Madrid. 3.5 minutes in here on Talksport, and it's 0-0, but Bayern with a really good opportunity in the opening moments of the game. All is played back for Manuel Neuer, controlling it. The Bayern captain bringing it towards the edge of the penalty area. Neuer, who has got more clean sheets in Champions League history than any other goalkeeper, 58 in total. He's played the ball forward here for Goretzka. Goretzka to Leimer in the midfield. There were big doubts about Leimer after he went off with a knee injury very early on against Eintracht Frankfurt at the weekend. His early withdrawal was a precaution. They've managed to get him fit. And he's played the ball through the midfield here, the Austrian. And now out towards Thomas Müller, who's making his 150th Champions League appearance tonight. Back out towards Kimmich again. Faced up by Rodrigo. Now Musiala will bring it forward. Good little 1-2 between him and Müller. And the first corner of the night goes Bayern Munich's way.
Super play there, and Bayern have had a couple of really good entries into the box. That first one was well saved by Lunin, and on that occasion the cross just cut out. Just looking at the Madrid front three, very interchangeable at the moment. In the main, it's Rodrigo on the left-hand side with Vinicius down the middle and Bellingham just to the right of centre.
Musiala, as the corner was worked short, they will try and work it towards the byline for Kimmich to whip it in. It was just tapped out of his way by Valverde. And they'll do it all again with another corner on the right-hand side. 5 gone here on Talksport at 0-0, and still 0-0 as well. A big game in the Championship tonight between Coventry and third-placed Ipswich, who need 4 points from the last 2 games to guarantee promotion. They might not need as many as 4. But we'll keep you up to date with anything of any consequence that happens in a game that is live for you right now over on Talksport 2. In comes Kimmich's corner, a right-footed away swinger towards the penalty spot that beats everybody and then takes a spiteful bounce and goes over Goretzka, but he's able to just turn and retrace his steps a little, get it back under control and then play it forward. And here comes Leroy Sané making his way towards the edge of the penalty area. Clever little reverse ball, and the shot comes in from Eric Dyer and is saved by the diving Lunin away to his right-hand side. It remains 0-0, 6 gone.
Yeah, even in these early stages, it's advantage Bayern at the moment. They're the team asking the questions of this Madrid back line, but that was probably to be expected, being the side at home tonight and maybe looking to take an advantage on the road, Jim.
Here's Rudiger, clattering it forward right-footed. Headed down through the midfield towards Goretzka. Valverde just nicked it in front of Goretzka. And was caught. And it's a a free kick which will be taken right in the centre circle by Real Madrid. Will just slow it down and yet to really get too much of a grip in possession. But we were talking about it before the game started that might not actually unduly faze them because they're so lethal on the counter-attack that they will be happy to cede possession by and large. It's when Bayern lose it in the central areas that they can often be unwound. But here Kane has won it back in that area, finding Sane, and that time a rising drive, a better effort than his first one. But it's cleared Lunen's bar and goes over. Not too far over. I think the goalkeeper had it covered, but 7 goalless minutes behind us, and Bayern have had 2 pretty good chances.
Yeah, as I say, Real Madrid will be happy to cede possession of the ball, but it's what Bayern are doing with it at the moment, asking real questions of their back line. They've been inside the box on 2 or 3 occasions with good sighters of goal.
It's a Bayern side that have struggled defensively, and I think that has been one of the problems in the eyes of President Uli Hoeneß, who's had this very public fallout with Thomas Tuchel, saying that Tuchel is just a manager that wants to buy players, doesn't really believe in training them or improving them, and the comments that were refuted very vociferously. Bayern bring the ball forward. Goretzka has been pulled back because he's caught Lucas Vazquez. Thomas Tuchel really didn't like the decision, was quick to let French referee Clement Turpin know, but it is going to be a free kick which will be taken right on the touchline by Real.
That's really harsh criticism of a manager, isn't it, to suggest that you don't improve your players. It really is. It questions your coaching techniques, and your duty of care as a manager and as a coach, really.
And to do it just before the first leg of the Champions League semi-final as well. There's a very public arm around the shoulder and vote of confidence, isn't there? So that is why I believe their relationship's fractured, and no matter how many Bayern fans sign that petition, as Kane goes for goal from 55 yards and fires it over. Saw that Lunen was off his line and tried his luck, but missed by a couple of yards. No matter how many people sign that petition, I don't think that they will be for turning. But that was an excellent piece of play in the midfield. And Bayern again winning it back. It was Mazraoui that time that dived in, won it back, and Kane, seeing the goalkeeper off his line, hit a first-time effort that was pretty close, worthy of an attempt. Bayern back inside their own penalty area, playing out. Kim giving a ball he didn't really want from Kimmich, but he opened up his foot and side-footed it away. Goes out towards Sane on the right. They'll work it back through the penalty area to safety through Eric Dyer, and they'll be able to play their way out very nicely. 9 minutes gone, 0-0, and Bayern bossing things in these early exchanges.
Yeah, they certainly are. They'll be absolutely delighted, their fans will be anyway, the way they've started, but you know and I know, unless you hit the back of the net, it's a little relevance.
So here's Jamal Musiala. Musiala, very close friend of Jude Bellingham, in opposition to him tonight. Kroos has got it back. Kroos more than 200 games behind him as a Bayern player, more than 450 for Real Madrid now. As the ball is played forward, Lima has stuck his foot in. It's going to be a throw, which will be taken over on the far touchline. He thought a free kick had been given against him. It is a Bayern throw. It had just been run out of play. Now the deadlock's been broken at the CBS. Coventry Ipswich, Jeff Peters.
Huge moment here. Coventry 0, Ipswich 1. They could be taking a big step towards promotion to the Premier League. Burns down the right, pulled it back. Kiefer Moore, what a finish. Coventry 0, Ipswich 1.
7th goal of the season for the Welsh international. Ipswich lead it. They haven't won any of their last 4 games. Have taken 3 points from those 4 games. Starting tonight, needing 4 more to guarantee promotion. And that would be 3 of them if they can hold on there. They would only need a draw at home to third bottom Huddersfield at the weekend. It's live here right now over on Talksport 2, and the final day of the Championship season, Saturday lunchtime, will also be covered in depth on the Talksport network. Bayern in possession, 11 minutes gone on this one. Bayern 0, Real Madrid 0.
Well, and I've got to say, Bayern have been the sharper into challenges, the quicker moving the ball around the pitch, and the team look most likely to break the deadlock.
Sane and Musiala have been interchangeable in these early stages. Kim will play the ball down through the left-hand side of the midfield where Goretzka will take it on, gets to the edge of the penalty area, spins it off towards Mazraoui. He goes back for Eric Dyer, fall from him to Harry Kane. Right-footed ball flicked in from Kane, who's scored 42 in 42 this season. astonishing record. It's the best goal-scoring season of his career, and you can add another 4 England goals to that tally over the course of the campaign as well. Bayern winning it back, right-footed ball, intelligently pulled back edge of the area for Musiala, and he can't hit the target either. Another rising drive, but should have been a little bit closer. Went over the bar by 4 or 5 feet. All Bayern Munich, nothing to show for it. 12 gone 0-0.
Yeah, great pullback by Muller there. Great vision. There wasn't enough in the box for him to put it in the box. Bayern players totally outnumbered around the 6-yard box. He pulled it back. Musiala ended up intercepting and taking the shot. I think beyond him was Kane. He might have been better off leaving it for Kane.
You're listening to Bayern Munich against Real Madrid in the Champions League on Talksport with Village Hotels. Visit villagehotels.com. The winners of this are taking on the winners of Dortmund against PSG in the other semi-final. We've got the first leg of that for you tomorrow here on Talksport with Danny Mills alongside Sam Matterface and Adrian in the chair. Dortmund against PSG kicking off 8 tomorrow night. The build-up from 7 on Talksport, and then more European action on Thursday as we bring you a choice of listening again. Villa in their first European semi-final for 40-odd years, taking on Olympiacos. Ray Houghton alongside me for that at Villa Park Thursday night. That's over on Talksport 2, because here on Talksport it's the 7:30 Premier League kick-off between Chelsea and Tottenham, who've got it all to do for a place in the Champions League next season. Bayern working the ball inside the penalty area. It's headed away. Finishes, losing out to Limer's. Had a really good start, played well against Arsenal here a fortnight ago, and has been able to continue that form tonight. Real haven't been able to get the ball forward to Vinicius at all in these early stages. And Ancelotti looks to be becoming quite a concerned figure. He's a man you wouldn't want to play poker against, because he just normally stands there motionless with a facial expression that's very hard to read. But you know what's going through his mind tonight. He's not happy.
No, as I say, what Bayern have done really well, irrelevant to what they've done around the last third, they've cut out the counter-attack really well. As you mentioned there, Lama's been very, very good in that respect.
Kimmich goes back for Goretzka, now play forward towards Sané, who had that really good opportunity inside 50 seconds tonight. Back from him to Lima. Lima goes out to the Bayern Munich right-hand side, an opportunity to bring the ball forward, cut out temporarily by Toni Kroos at the expense of a throw. The throw is taken over on the Bayern right, and they've launched it 25 yards back inside their own half for Kim. We now find Dyer. Dyer coming forward. Eric Dyer, like Harry Kane, missed the semi-finals of the Champions League when Tottenham got to the final. It was out through injury. The pair of them were both back in time for the final. So they played in a final but never in the semis before. Jude Bellingham playing in his first Champions League semi-final before as well, but a man that has proved himself to be a man for the big occasion. Ball play forward inside the penalty area, and on the slide Thomas Muller hooks it back in. Deflects off a Real Madrid defender, goes through Valunin, who will pick it up. The Ukrainian international bowls it out, now towards Lucas Vazquez. Exchange of passes between him and Rudiger, and then he looks long. They're never afraid to do that. Dyer chests it down. They couldn't get Bellingham in behind him. Lima bringing it forward, finds Kane. Finds number 9 off for Musiala, and he's dragged the right-footed shot wide. The 5 or 6 sights of goal inside the opening 15 minutes for Bayern, and that's 5 or 6 without reply. Much the better side so far.
Yeah, they certainly are, and as I say, Bayern statistically are very, very strong at the moment, but they've just failed to test the goalkeeper as much as they should have done. Probably that Sané effort going through on the goalkeeper should have been slightly better. Well, when I say slightly better, it's defining efforts like that, Jim, isn't it, that you've got to put away.
Right, turn possession over again. Kane works it through, and it ends up at the feet of the goalkeeper. And Real Madrid made 9 changes at the weekend for their league game, and they're in such a position of strength at the top of La Liga. They were able to do that. They'll win the league this weekend if they beat Cadiz, and Barcelona don't win at third place Girona. And even if it doesn't happen this weekend, they'll still have another 4 opportunities to cement the title. But they made 9 changes. Bayern only made 3. But you'd think it was the other way around. The freshness, the sharpness about Bayern, the way that they played inside the opening 16 minutes here on Talksport. But it is still 0-0. Dyer back for Neuer, taking a touch, letting it roll through the penalty area, then kicking it out through the box, but hurriedly and not effectively, and it'll be picked up by Ferland Mendy coming forward from left back, and all of a sudden Real have their first meaningful attack of the game here, with Jude Bellingham. He's got the ball at his feet. Muller is the man that's leading the press for Bayern, and he's done well to force Real Madrid back. Hasn't got the ball back though. Pearce playing it through the midfield. And Nacho will help it on towards Rudiger, who will come forward now towards Lucas Vazquez, and the versatile right-sided player playing at full-back again tonight goes all the way back for his goalkeeper. 17 gone, 0-0, and here's the former England captain, Stuart Pearce.
Yeah, Madrid just having the longest period of possession they've had in the whole game so far, and I think they quite enjoyed taking the sting out of Bayern.
Finishes. Rodrigo waiting for the return ball. Didn't come from Mendy. It was cut out. Musiala tried to bring it away. Lost his balance. Was back on his feet and back in possession in the blink of an eye. And between him and Lima, they've done well to win it back. Here's Kane. Certainly Bayern not playing like a side encumbered by pressure, knowing that their entire season is on this time. They have been lightning quick out of the blocks, taken the game to Real, and not significantly allowing the opposition any chances on the counter-attack.
I don't think they could have started any better, if I'm being honest with you, apart from maybe finishing a couple of efforts that could have been slightly better. But apart from that, they couldn't have started this game any better for the home side first leg.
Yes, everything but the goal, isn't it? The ball played forward by Chouameni, the young Frenchman, into the feet of the retreating Bellingham, who just played the way that he was facing back for the stalwart Toni Kroos in the heart of the Real Madrid midfield. Kroos was on the books of Bayern when they won the Champions League in 2013, although he was injured and didn't feature in the latter stages of the competition that season. He's won it a few times since for Real Madrid, 4 in all, including 2022 when they last won it, the 14th triumph that they've had in this competition. It's twice as many as anybody else. Kane getting it forward. Sane chasing, Rudiger there first. Ahead of his international teammate. Able to knock it back for his goalkeeper. And now Real will be able to play the ball out down towards the left-hand side. We're 19 minutes in, it's still 0-0. One thing you could guarantee from this game, it's going to draw lots of column inches. It'll be talked about for, well, at least a week until the second leg, which will probably draw even more heated debate, you would imagine. And for all the fallout from this massive tie tonight, you can join Danny Kelly and Andy Brassel on the Trans-Europe Express this Sunday at 9. They'll be reviewing in depth all the action from this week's key European matches, this one taking centre stage. That's Trans-Europe Express here on Talksport every Sunday evening. 20 minutes gone in this one, it's 0-0. But a good marauding run forward down the right-hand touchline from Lucas Vazquez has won Real Madrid their first corner. Not always an area of Bayern Munich's game that's a strength, defending set pieces, and what will they be able to do from this one? Everybody back inside the box apart from Sane. In fact, even he just shuffles in almost apologetically now inside the penalty area. It's a congested penalty box, but a vacant 6-yard box as the ball is worked short in towards Vinicius, and that's not his best at all. Kroos into Vinny at a tightish angle on the right-hand side of the box, and a little hurried, snatched shot goes high and wide of the near post. Doesn't even hit the side netting on its way out of play for a goal kick. Wasted opportunity for Real Madrid with 20 minutes in. That sums up the 20 minutes that we've seen from them so far. They've just not been at it. Yeah, they've been camped in there when they've had opportunity to counter-attack, which you know they're very good at. Lima has been the architect in breaking things up, and they've dealt with that pretty well by him. Sane trying to link up with Thomas Muller. 1-2 didn't come off between Sane and Goretzka then. And be knocked away by Real on the edge of their own penalty area. They are getting Muller forward in support of Harry Kane. It's almost a 4-4-2 for Bayern. Muller, who's been pretty lightly raced in recent weeks, back in the side tonight for his 150th tie in the Champions League proper. Did score in the final back in 2012 against Chelsea. Played both legs of the semi-finals against Real Madrid over the last 12 years. So they're all 6 of those games. Liner in with another important challenge. The bearded Austrian winning it back in the midfield. Looks of discontent on the faces of the Real players. Bayern working it forward quickly, but Sane's control just let him down. It spun away from his left foot and goes out of play. Seeing the replay as Lyman put the challenge in, he withdrew his left foot. Then he thought the contact was going to be there and went down. There was no contact, and the referee's decision, I think, was correct.
Yeah, really good decision by the referee. To say there was, he'd gone to the ground. I think he was expecting contact, but it didn't come.
Contact that time was Toni Kroos. His turn was too good, and he's been fouled. Free kick given by Clement Turpin. Talk about his reputation of being a disciplinarian. At one stage earlier this season, he sent off 7 players in 8 games, which is a good effort. Not to suggest that any of those decisions were wrong, but it's still the kind of run that a referee has. He'll be hoping for a quiet one on the back of those. He hasn't sent too many off since then. Here's Bellingham.
A little too much paperwork, I think, for me, Jim.
Yeah, you'd be letting everything go in the next game, wouldn't you?
Would.
Oh no, it's all right. You can have that.
Especially over a Christmas period, you don't want that sort of paperwork then.
Kroos playing it for Joyeux Noël, Monsieur Turpin. Here's Kroos. That's the extent of my French GCSE, by the way.
Very good.
Is Kroos bringing it forward down towards Lucas Vazquez. Back in field from him. Valverde letting it run. Kroos has got it. Makes his way towards the centre circle. That's a good perceptive ball for. It's a brilliant ball, and it's taken. They haven't been in this game at all, but Vinicius on the counter-attack gives Real Madrid the lead, and that is what they are all about. But the finish was the easy bit. It's the creativity and vision of Toni Kroos that makes it. Back on his old stomping ground, boys, he made an effect. It's been all Bayern Munich, but it's Real Madrid that lead.
I'll tell you what, he has done brilliantly there. Kroos has got the ball, he's looking up, he's waiting for the run. Vinicius Jr. comes to him just to draw Kim onto him. He spins him behind Kim and leaves him for absolute dead. And when he gets in the box, and it's probably been the first time Madrid have been in the box with the ball, it hits the back of the net. Game changer.
It reiterates the point that you were making, Stuart. Doesn't matter how much possession you have, how many sights of goal you have, how many times you work the goalkeeper. If you don't score, it counts for nothing.
Well, we saw this counter-attack threat in the last round against City on too many occasions, and in the end it put paid to Manchester City's progression in the tournament.
Bayern looking for an instant equaliser, working inside the box. Musiala keeping his feet, clipping the ball in. Hits Tchouaméni, and Rodrigo will be able to bring it away. Bellingham flicking it out towards the left-hand side. Playing forward again now towards Vinicius. His 20th goal of the season is the difference between the two teams. It's his 8th in his last 10 games. He's not had a great Champions League this time round. That's only his 4th in the entire campaign. But it's a big one. Bayern Munich 0, Real Madrid 1. Their first shot of any description. Just past the midway stage of the first half, and it's given them the lead.
Yeah, you've got to say though, it was awful defended by Kim. You could see as he was being drawn out of his centre-back berth, you knew that Vinicius Jr. was going to spin him behind him, and once he went, there was absolutely no way he could recover a run.
So the former Napoli defender only playing because of the injury of the weekend to De Ligt. At fault for the goal. €50 million signing has it again now. He's played it forward towards Goretzka. From here to Mazraoui. 25 minutes gone. Bayern 0. Real Madrid 1. We'll be back at Coventry in a moment for an update. Ipswich leading there, and it's a win that will take them a point away from the Premier League. Bayern looking for a response. Ball played through. Referee's got a decision to make. Sane taking a tumble inside the box. The way that he looked at the referee suggested he wasn't expecting good news. He didn't get any, and the play is allowed to continue.
Yeah, not seeing a penalty there. As I say, he was running at full tilt. I just think there's a little, to be fair to him, there was a little nibble on him, potentially outside the box. But when the ball arrived at him, and I think the referee got eyes on him, went down cheaply.
Lucas Vazquez able to bring the ball forward. Infield, given away though. Passed it straight to Eric Dyer, and Bayern will be able to play forward from the back. Work through the right-hand side from Kimmich. Kimmich to Musiala. Musiala now trying to take on Ferland Mendy. Takes it down towards the touchline. It's going sideways, really, rather than forwards. He stops when he's on the touchline. Good quick feet, couple of step-overs. Brilliant little backheel flick. And he's got Kimmich back into the game. Lima now as Bayern quickly moving from right to left. Down towards Mazraoui, just on the edge of the penalty area. Threaded in towards Muller. Muller towards Lima. And he's taking a touch off Kroos and goes back to the goalkeeper. Let's get an update then from Coventry. Here's Talksport's Jeff Peters.
Still Coventry 0, Ipswich 1. Kiefer Moore with the goal after 8 minutes. Lovely finish from Burns, run into the box. Ben Sheaf with a chance to equalise distance. Let fly. What a hit. Just wide. Maybe grazed the outside of a post. Good game this. Coventry 0, Ipswich 1.
And it does continue live view on Talksport. If you've got the Talksport app, you can easily swipe left and swipe right and keep abreast of all of the action from both games. Ian Dander and Adrian Clark talking you through that action from the West Midlands tonight. This one, Stuart Pearce alongside me, Jim Proudfoot. Bayern Munich 0, Real Madrid 1 in the first leg. The second leg is live for you next week, next Wednesday. All the playoff action as well from the EFL interspersed around the big European games next week. Guarantee that on Talksport or Talksport 2 next week, if your team is in the playoffs, we've got it covered for you. Dyer working the ball forward, down towards Mazraoui. 1-0 to Real Madrid. Very much against the run of play, but they would argue that it's just been perfect execution of their game plan. Sane's lost out here to Bellingham. Bellingham working it forward. Kim uses his strength that time and blocks off the run of Vinicius. He's able to get it back towards Neuer, who clears it hurriedly down to the left touchline, where Bellingham's in with a rumbustious but fair sliding challenge. And it goes out of play for a throw that will be taken on the Bayern Munich left-hand side.
You would say from Real Madrid's point of view, Jim, that this game is perfect for what they want. If they've got the ball at the back, I think they can keep it with a double press from Kane and Muller. They're not dynamic athletes by any means, so I think they can keep the ball and slow the tempo down. And on the counter-attack, my goodness, have they got some pace.
Joshua Kimmich as we approach the half-hour mark. Ball plays back towards Lima to Goretzka. Real Madrid historically have had the upper hand in this fixture, and they've got it again tonight. But here's Musiala working inside the box. First ball pulled back, almost found his target. Then he finds Goretzka. Couple of deflections. It spins out the left-hand side of the penalty area. Sane follows it, brings it under control. Sensed that it wasn't going to go out of play for a corner, so he's played it and brings it all the way back via Mazraoui for Lima, and now Kim out towards Kimmich. Bayern very quickly switched it from the left-hand side out towards the right. And Thomas Muller has it again. Kimmich back for Lima. Blonde-haired midfielder finding that Goretzka. It's a real boon for them. They got Lima fit and able to play. He's been in such good form. Works it forward again into the feet of Thomas Muller. Kim, dark-haired, thick set, bringing the ball forward in his yellow boots. Now out to the right-hand side for Joshua Kimmich, player who's not that far short now of 400 games for Bayern Munich. There's Eric Dyer, who has got too many behind him at all, only number 17 tonight. First Champions League semi of his career. Forward towards Kim, Bayern dominating possession, dominating the number of attempts, dominating in just about every statistical metric except for the most important one. Finishes his goal on 24 minutes, the difference between the two teams. Neuer outside his penalty area to link the play up again. Finds Kim to Lima. Lima coming forward over the halfway line and towards Kimmich. Mendy comes forward to put the pressure on him, and Kim will bring it back through the midfield. A ball that just skims through the centre of midfield for Dyer. A little coming together off the ball there, maybe. Bellingham, who you talked about in the build-up to the game, a player that perhaps potentially susceptible to the red mist coming down on occasions, but looked as though he's looking for revenge. He thought better of it. Ball played forward. Still Bayern have got it. Sane trips over it, and Real can bring it away. Kroos, clever little layoff by Rodrigo for Vinicius. Vinicius with a brilliant turn to send Sane wrong-footed. And now Lucas Vazquez will slow it down on the right-hand side and play it past Bellingham for Valverde, and Real have got a little bit more control now that they lead.
Yeah, this is what Real Madrid can do. I think Bayern will drop off, and as I say, the front two when they press is Kane and Muller, and they're not dynamic in their press, and Real Madrid can keep the ball and take the sting and the tempo out of the game at will, which is a good thing for them.
Okay, so what do Bayern need to do then to rectify that? And there are a few ways that they could change the formation. Would you advocate that they did that to get someone like Musiala and Sané more involved in the press?
No, I just think that they've got to squeeze on from the back and press collectively as a group. Sometimes you've just got to suffer and allow the opposition to have the ball. I think that's okay to do now, but if Madrid get a second goal, or alternatively the game goes on and on, you can't afford for them to just knock it around at the back and run the clock down.
Tchouaméni, French international, played forward. There's no foul on Vinicius. It was an acrobatic fall. The referee waves a finger at him and said no. Goretzka's challenge was clean. Vinicius' way back to his feet. Tchouaméni, Thomas Tuchel cutting an animated figure, wanting more animation from his team. Ball in from Valverde, not the best from the edge of the penalty area. Lima ducks to head the ball away. Real win the seconds. Bellingham, who's been here, there and everywhere so far, laying it back for Nacho. Nacho to Kroos. Now to Tchouaméni again. And Rudiger, the deepest of the Real Madrid outfield players, has got it.
This is what's killing them at the moment. As I say, they've took the sting out of Bayern, and Tuchel's running up and down his technical area trying to get his team to press more aggressively and chase the ball and shut it down. Muller's looking round and saying, I'm moving from side to side, there's no one backing me up behind me. And they're dictating the tempo of the game and taking the sting out of the game, Real Madrid.
Rudiger chasing a ball back that went towards the edge of his own penalty area, looked to head it back to his goalkeeper, realised his goalkeeper was way outside the box. But they worked out what was going on quickly enough to remedy a potentially difficult situation. Ball cleared upfield by Real, but Bayern will win it back inside their own half. 12 to go to half-time. Bayern 0, Real Madrid 1. Coventry 0, Ipswich 1 live for you right now over on Talksport 2. Tchouaméni winning it back. And when you turn over possession in a dangerous area in the midfield against Bayern, there's always a sense that that can be the catalyst to a counter-attack. Bellingham leading at that time. Vinicius has won a corner off Kim, and it'll be Real Madrid's second corner of the night. 11 to go to half-time here on TalkSport.
It's the perfect scenario at the moment for Real Madrid. They've sat back, they can dictate the tempo of the game across the back line when they want, without too much of a dynamic press. And on the turnovers we saw there, they're setting traps, and if you turn over on the counter-attack, they are very dynamic.
So second corner to be swung in from the left-hand side. Kane patrolling that near post area as he loves to do. The free man to be able to head away. It's Toni Kroos with the delivery. Good goalkeeping by Neuer. Came out, got two hands to it. But Real recycle it back out towards Kroos. Good little left-footed ball inside the penalty area from Nacho. Well read and intercepted by Kane. He will play out towards Musiala. Struggled to get the ball from behind him and into his stride. And then Real come back and win it back in the midfield with Kroos. And a high left-footed ball out towards the far touchline, headed away by Kim. Now towards Kane. And Kane, having been back defending that last set piece, finds himself deeper than ordinarily in open play. Playing it forward towards Leroy Sané here. Back it goes from Muller. Goretzka coming forward onto it. Kane's 10 yards outside the box now as he picks this up. He scored his 400th career goal for club and country at the weekend. Lima back for Kimmich. And Kimmich goes out towards the right-hand touchline again. 9 minutes to go to the break here on TalkSport. Finishes with the goal 12 minutes ago that has given Real Madrid the advantage. Mazraoui looking for a little reverse inside the penalty area. Sané plays it back to him. Mazraoui travelling laterally across the edge of the penalty area. Kroos sticks out a foot. Only steer the ball out towards Joshua Kimmich. Kimmich to Lima. Possession 55-45 in Bayern's favour through the opening 35 minutes of the game. Goretzka to Lima to Kim. A lot of the possession that Bayern have had has been inside Real Madrid's half. The same can't be true the other way round. Dyer. Down towards Mazraoui. Carlo Ancelotti in his dark suit looks a lot more phlegmatic now than he did earlier in the game. Lima playing the ball out towards the Bayern Munich right-hand side. Musiala, round-shouldered, former England under-21 international, now a former German international, played out towards the right-hand touchline. Kimmich coming off that side, finding Lima. To Kimmich again, making his way forward into a more central area, closed down by Kroos, but he's found Goretzka in space. Goretzka takes a touch, out from him to Mazraoui. Mazraoui getting towards the byline, trying to win a corner. I think he's managed that off the retreating Rodrigo. Yes, he has.
Yeah, good defending there by Rodrigo. I've got to say, stayed on his feet in the box. He had to be very clean with his challenge. I think he'd just done enough. Yeah, just done enough to win it. And Madrid, probably the one thing they've improved, the passing lines into the box. Bayern Munich were able to pass the ball into the box and create space earlier in the game. They seem to have tightened that up since then.
Now can they defend this corner? Swung in by Kimmich, very deep towards the far post. It was a free header which has gone across the face of goal and wide, but the referee saw a push anyway. I think it was Goretzka that made the contact. That is a free kick which will be taken by Real inside their penalty area. 7 to go to half-time. Bayern Munich 0, Real Madrid 1 remains the score here on Talksport. Let's go back to Coventry for an update from Talksport's Jeff Peters.
Ipswich still leading Coventry here, second in the table as it stands, but their goal living a charmed life. 2 big chances, Casey Palmer off the line by Burns, and then Hadji Wright. What a save from Pladke, one of the saves of the season. Ipswich lead Coventry 1-0.
So as things stand right now, that's Ipswich's penultimate game of the campaign, and they're 3 points ahead of Leeds. Their goal difference, though, is 6 worse than Leeds, which still need a point on the last day. They've got Huddersfield, Leeds at home to Southampton. Both of those games kick off at 12:30, and we will bring you the pick of the championship games on Talksport 2, Saturday lunchtime, 12:30 kickoff. Big games down at the bottom as well, incidentally. Birmingham against Norwich, which also has ramifications for the playoff places, being the pick-off. Birmingham will start the day in the bottom 3. Huddersfield almost certainly down, and many fancy that Birmingham will go down with them. Plenty of action Saturday lunchtime. Here Real Madrid bring the ball forward again. Bellingham just trying to link up with Rodrigo, easily knocked away by the Bayern back line, out towards the far side. The second leg of Real Madrid's quarter-final against Manchester City saw a real disciplined defensive performance from Real, but they congested play, played in a 4-4-2 for a lot of it, and were able to keep those passing lines really tight. Bayern bring the ball forward again, and with a free kick, as Musiala is brought down right on the edge of the D. It was Nacho that caught him slightly late. And it's a free kick in a really good position here for Bayern, and a chance to get themselves back on level terms. They haven't quite been able to replicate the excellency of that defensive performance from Manchester a couple of weeks ago.
No, they haven't. As I say, Bayern, over the course of this half, have managed to find passing lines at close quarters into the box and into areas. Bayern just haven't been able to get it out of their feet and finish. When they have had a sight of goal, the goalkeeper stopped the good opportunity, but that was we're talking 35 minutes ago probably, Jim, you know. Since then, the difference in quality of the two sides, Bayern have got to be more methodical building up, where Real Madrid can just, at the drop of a hat, cover the pitch very, very quickly on the counter-attack.
So this free kick is right of centre. It's just outside the D. Harry Kane has spotted it down. Scored the 400th goal of his career for club and country at the weekend. A 2-1 win against Eintracht Frankfurt. What will he be able to do here? A man who scored in his Bayern career a goal a game. now they need him to maintain that tonight. So a really good Champions League campaign so far, 7 goals in his 10 games in this competition this season. Player more than capable of the spectacular. Real have got a 4-man wall, and they've got a man down behind it in a kneeling position rather than down as a draft excluder.
If you ask me what's happening here, Harry Kane's going to hit this. He's going to go open side. I think he's going to close his foot and go open side, goalkeeper side, with an element of violence. That's how I see it.
And Vasquez is lying down behind the wall now. Bayern have got 2 players in front of that wall trying to make life difficult. Lima and Goretzka are the 2. Sane stands over it as well. He runs up, leaves it. Harry Kane! Oh, it's narrowly wide. Well, you called it. You read it. You knew exactly where it was going to go. It went open side, and he hit it with real violence and swerve, but just a little bit too much of the latter. And potentially Lunin would have had it covered, but he hit it with real pace.
Yeah, he did. The curl he's tried to put on it, I don't think he was ever going to get it inside that near post as such. I think what he had to do was probably put his laces on it and drive it into that corner.
So unable to start the 5th century of goals in his career at that juncture. 2 minutes to go to half-time. Bayern Munich 0, Real Madrid 1. Kane's old club Tottenham in Premier League action as Bellingham is brought down right on the edge of the penalty area, and that's a yellow card. It was a really poor challenge. Just one long punted ball over the top of the back line. Bellingham running onto it, and Mazraoui slid in and clearly made contact, and it was right on the edge of the penalty area, maybe a foot outside the box, and he's lucky that contact didn't continue in the box. Bellingham going down, really good run from him, and it is a free kick. What, a foot outside the box?
Yeah, I can only help thinking that he knew exactly where he was and took the challenge outside the box. But it could be a game of 2 free kicks now, Jim. There's a similar type of area to the one Harry Kane missed the target with just prior to this.
Now this one, if anything, is slightly closer, slightly wider. It's been taken away from the edge of the penalty area, as is often the case. Toni Kroos and Rodrigo are the 2 Real Madrid players that are standing over it. It's only 3 in the wall rather than 4, which shows you the subtle change of angle. So Kroos takes a couple of steps back. Neuer will have faced umpteen Toni Kroos free kicks in the past in training for club and country. It's Rodrigo that tries this one, hits the wall. Goretzka coming out of the wall really well and deflects away for a corner.
Yeah, well done the wall. I think it was Harry Kane eventually. Goretzka come out the wall. It might have been Harry Kane who put his head on it. And yeah, brave header, really good header. That is on target, that, if he doesn't get a head to it.
So a 3rd Real Madrid corner, and Kroos spotting the ball down. The French official Nicolas Dano just making sure that the ball is correctly placed on the quadrant. In from Kroos towards the edge of the 6-yard box, took a little flick header on his way through from Nacho, goes back out the penalty area the other side. Lima stopping the next cross coming in from Rodrigo, but his clearance off balance screws way off the outside of his right boot for another corner. And we go to stoppage time at the end of the first half with Real Madrid leading and on the front foot trying to double their advantage before the break. Rodrigo going across to take the corner, spotted the ball down, but he's going to leave it for Kroos. There's not going to be too much stoppage time to be added on at the end of this first half. This attack might well be the last action of the first 45 minutes. Highly engaging affair. Real Madrid leading it. Looking for a second. In from Kroos, works short outside the penalty area. Back to him from Valverde. Low ball in from him. A stooping header away from Kane is the last touch of an opening 45 minutes in which Bayern Munich by and large have been dominant. Should have been ahead inside the opening minute, but just past the midway stage of the half, Vinicius got on the end of a lovely ball from Toni Kroos, slotted it past the goalkeeper, and at half-time in the first leg, it's Bayern Munich 0, Real Madrid 1.
Well, that's been an absorbing first half. I can tell you here at the CBS Arena, it's still Coventry 0, Ipswich 1, and Ipswich going into second place. But Stuart Pearce, let's talk about some key moments in that first half. First of all, the goal. I was looking at the pass from Tony Kroos thinking that is pure geometry. That's genius. You're talking about Kim not defending properly. Then I've heard others talking about Vinicius's movement and finish as well. What was the key to that goal? What was the big thing of those three things in the goal? Was it Kroos's ball? Was it Kim's bad defending? Or was it Vinny Jr.'s finish?
Well, all three come together to create a good goal for Real Madrid. If you're asking me to pick one thing, it's the movement from Vinicius Jr. He's coming towards the ball now full well. He's only going towards the ball. He don't want it at feet. He knows it's going in behind. His teammates looking at him and said, keep coming. He's coming with you. Keep coming. The ball was sublime. Make no mistake, the weight of the ball was brilliant. The naivety of the defender has got to be brought into question as well. Once a striker starts bringing you to the ball like that, you think you've got to be thinking to yourself, especially when he's a speed merchant, why is he taking me to the ball like this when the ball hasn't come to his feet sooner?
Yeah, I've got to say, it's genius as well from Vinny Jr. Spot on. Yeah. And you do wonder, Kim gets himself dragged out so far away, not just from his own goal, but from his own penalty box. Vinicius Jr.'s pace is always going to get him there first after Kroos makes such a brilliant pass. You know, either side of that, I'm talking at either end of the half really, Bayern Munich had chances 40 seconds in, and Leroy Sané is clean through on goal, but it's saved by the goalkeeper. Now, he hasn't scored since October, Leroy Sané, and it showed there. That really could have given Bayern Munich a fantastic start to the game.
It went, I think, even next week, when we look back over this tie, you won't realise how important that save or that missed opportunity would be. That changes the dynamic of the game a little bit, Aid. Now, they've huffed and puffed in and around Real Madrid's box, and that's the plus for them. They've been there, they've managed to thread balls through, especially early on in the half. But the more this game goes on, I'm looking at Real Madrid that can set the tempo at the back, because Bayern haven't got a dynamic press in Harry Kane and Muller. They're just not that type of players. So they can control the tempo of the game, take the sting out of it now. And you've seen the cutting edge that they've got on the pace, on the counter-attack. The game's absolutely perfect for Real Madrid at this moment in time.
That free kick 5 minutes before the end of the half, Harry Kane stood over it. It was always going to hit it right-footed. I just think at this level, and we know how brilliant Harry Kane is, I'm not going to go at him individually, his numbers speak for themselves, but at this level, at this stage of the Champions League, he's got to make the keeper do some work at the very least, doesn't he? 100%.
I mean, when he lined up on the ball, I said to Jim, I know exactly where this is going, but you can't take it on and try and put bend on it, because by the time the ball bends, it's 2 foot away from the post on the wrong side of it. He's got to go and take that and almost cut across it with his laces. He's got the technique to do so. He's just opted to use the wrong technique.
And just a quick one on Harry Kane, in between all of that, in the middle of the half, tried one from the centre circle. I don't know if that's desperation or if it goes in, it's genius. Where do you stand on players trying to score from the halfway line?
That's clever play. Make no mistake about that. If he'd have got the trajectory of that slightly lower, just put a bit too much loft on it, which take a valuable split second out. But make no mistake, you asked the goalkeeper, he was scurrying back and hoping that was sailing over the bar. I think it was worth the effort, and I think it was a clever effort as well.
Stuart, for the time being, thank you very much. So Bayern Munich 0, Real Madrid 1 at half-time. Vinicius Jr.'s goal separates the two sides in the Allianz Arena. It's live on Talksport in the second half to come. And what a first half we've had here at Coventry. Rounding up the 45 minutes alongside me, Jeff Peters.
Yeah, it's Coventry 0, Ipswich 1. The automatic promotion race is swinging the way of Ipswich as it stands. They won't be enjoying this at Leeds, as they currently drop to third. A dream start for Ipswich, ahead after just 8 minutes. Wes Burns in space down the right, behind De Silva, raced into the box, cut the ball back towards the penalty spot, where his fellow Welsh international keeper Moore was unmarked and drilled a powerful effort beyond Collins. He'd gone 7 without a goal after 6 in his first 9. after joining in January. Coventry have threatened a leveller several times. Ben Sheaf from distance was inches away from scoring an absolute stunner. Then a double let-off for Ipswich. Pinball in the box. Casey Palmer's shot scrambled off the line by Burns. The ball fell to Hadji Wright close in. Somehow, Václav Hladký managed to tip it over. An extraordinary, breathtaking, instinctive piece of goalkeeping. The visitors actually came close to a second at the end of the half. Nathan Broadhead's header from Burns' cross, really well saved by Collins. This is a fabulous game. It's Coventry 0, Ipswich 1.
Jeff, let me take you back to that Hladký save. It was something else, wasn't it? And as bad as he was Saturday night, you could blame him for 2 of the Hull City goals. It was a world-class save from him.
It was one of those where everyone's looking at it and going, wow, how did that just happen? Instinctive, didn't really know much about it, because as the shot came in from Hadji Wright, it was so close to him, probably didn't have any time to just think about it. It's just put up a hand, tip it over. But it is a brilliant, top-class save. And if Ipswich go on and get the 3 points here, and then they'll know they just need a draw in the final game of the season against Huddersfield, that may end up being a really key part of it. It's in Ipswich's hands. They're doing what they need to do so far. But, hey, listen, Coventry are threatening.
Yeah, they've had chances. Coventry 0, Ipswich 1. I will mention an incredible tackle on Casey Palmer from the skipper Sam Morsey as well. It looked like he was surging into the box, and cleanly Morsey slid in, got the ball, and Ipswich were away. That was quality from the Ipswich captain. As it stands then, Leicester are champions. They're up already, no worries for them. Ipswich are on 93 as it stands. Leeds on 90. Ipswich are at home to Huddersfield, who are virtually relegated already on Saturday, and Leeds are at home to Southampton. It is very much as things stand in Ipswich Town's hands. They lead here at Coventry by 1-0. It's live on Talksport 2, the commentary. If you want to get Talksport 2, just download the Talksport app for free. You can swipe between Talksport and Talksport 2, or tell your smart speaker to play Talksport 2. Here on Talksport, it is Champions League commentary. Bayern Munich 0, Real Madrid 1. You're listening to Kickoff on Talksport with Ladbrokes. We play together. Terms and conditions apply. 18+. BeGambleAware.org.
Kick-off on TalkSport with Ladbrokes. We play together. Terms and conditions apply. 18+. BeGambleAware.org. Kick-off on TalkSport with Ladbrokes. We play together. Terms and conditions apply. 18+. BeGambleAware.org.
TUI presents The Relaxing Escape. Sunrise, yoga, breakfast on a white sand tropical beach, a dip in your swim-up suite, a little read on your daybed, a cooking class, sure, massage, bliss. Lose all track of time. Your next relaxing escape sorted. Book online on the app or in-store. TUI. Live happy. ATOL protected.
TalkSport Bet. If you want to flutter, punters know it's the only place to go. Football, GGs, cricket, golf and Grand Prix are live online casino. Just tap to find it on the app. TalkSport Bet, the broadcast bonus bookie, keeping you on track with all the sporting stats. Steeple chases, even title races, looking after sports fans. You know, cause TalkSport Bet is the app that does all that. It's the only place to go.
18+. BeGambleAware.org.
FX's Welcome to Wrexham is back on Disney+. Join Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney.
Here we are in season 3. It's going to be a very harrowing edge-of-your-seat season.
In a whole new league.
This division's going to be tougher. If we keep believing, we can turn things round.
FX's Welcome to Wrexham. New season streaming May 3rd, exclusively on Disney+. 18+ subscription required. T's and C's apply.
Play Set for Life and you could. £10,000 every month for 30 years. Set for Life. Play now on the National Lottery app. Terms, rules and procedures apply. Players must be 18 or over.
Let me just throw this idea at you. You may have paid too much tax. If you've spent money on tools, travel or food for work, Rift can help work out what you're owed and get a refund bouncing back to you. In fact, on average, Rift get their customers $3,000 back. Not bad, eh? Let's get the ball rolling. Search Rift Tax Refunds.
I'm like a rubber ball, like a bouncing.
Come on, search Rift Tax Refunds today.
The McDonald's Chicken Big Mac is back, but not for long. So don't miss out on the 3 layers of soft bun. Don't miss out on the iconic, delicious Big Mac sauce, those crisp, tender chicken patties, that fresh shredded lettuce, that melty cheese. And don't miss those delicious gherkins, unless you want to take them out. Don't regret it. Get it. From 11 a.m. until the 28th of May. Subject to availability, participating restaurants only.
At BetMGM, we know how to put on a show. So we don't just do offers, we do golden offers like this.
Our free-to-play Golden Goals. Predict 6 Premier League scores correctly to win up to £2 million. And it's completely free to play. You hear that? 2 million big ones.
Get ready for the golden era in sports betting. BetMGM. It's showtime.
Predict 6 correct scores to win up to £2 million. T's and C's apply. 18 plus. Please gamble responsibly.
Champions League live on Talksport with Village Hotels. With 33 locations across the UK, Village Hotels have everything under one roof for a great breakaway.
On 1089 and 1053 medium wave, online, on your mobile and on your smart speaker. Talksport.
So, Thursday night on Talksport, Chelsea, Tottenham in the Premier League live on Talksport, live and exclusive. We've got Villa Olympiacos, Europa Conference League semi-final first leg. That's live on Talksport 2 on Thursday night. Let's focus on this evening. Let's get the half-time odds with Ladbrokes.
Odds update on Talksport with Ladbrokes. We play together. Terms and conditions apply. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
And at half-time in the Allianz Arena in the Champions League, live on Talksport, it's Bayern Munich 0, Real Madrid 1. Real are 5-4 on to win this leg. Bayern at 18-5, the draw 23-10. And on Talksport 2 in the Championship, Coventry 0, Ipswich 1 at half-time, and the Tractor Boys are now 11-4 on to win the game. Coventry are 15-2, the draw is 10-3. That was the latest odds with Ladbrokes, 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
Odds update on Talksport with Ladbrokes. We play together. Terms and conditions apply. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
A run of play. Borussia Dortmund might just have sealed it.
Good players there. When they click, they're great. But I worry about them in terms of the mentality.
It is Sancho now, and he squeezes it into the bottom left-hand corner. Scores his first Dortmund goal back at the Westfalenstadion. Mbappe seals the tie. His second of the night. That is surely it.
PSG, I think, the strong favourites of either of the two semi-finals. They are the strongest favourites that exist.
Dembele turns it in against his own club.
PSG now got an amazing opportunity. On paper, you'd make PSG favourites, for sure.
These are the nights that will forever be recalled.
Join me at 7 o'clock for kick-off tomorrow night as we have the second semi-final first leg in the Champions League, and it's an unlikely pairing. Borussia Dortmund taking on Paris Saint-Germain after Paris lost the first leg in the quarter-final against Barcelona 3-2. You thought they were going out, but they turned it around in Barcelona and got through the tie. Dortmund, well, they're not even in the top 4 in Germany. Not many would have predicted they'd have been here, but in Jadon Sancho, they have a player in form. Are you watching Erik ten Hag? Scored a great goal at the weekend, and they are in the final 4 in the Champions League. So it's live on Talksport tomorrow night. Borussia Dortmund taking on Paris Saint-Germain. And there's a Dortmund reference tomorrow on breakfast as well. It's Alan Brazil with Troy Deeney tomorrow, the former Watford captain, from 6 a.m. on Talksport. And among the guests are the former Real Madrid president, Ramon Calderon, looking back on tonight's game. Real Madrid 1-0 up at half-time, second half coming up live on Talksport. Champions League winner with Borussia Dortmund, Paul Lambert. He was in that midfield. He was the workaholic in midfield that allowed the others to do the good stuff as Dortmund beat Juventus 3-1 in 1997 to lift the Champions League, the only time they've done it. He'll be on the breakfast show tomorrow, the former Villa manager. And Dart star Peter Snakebite Wright is also on the breakfast show tomorrow. They've got a brand new feature on TalkSport Breakfast tomorrow. Troy Story. I can't wait to find out what that's about. Let's just hope Alan Brazil can handle it. Troy Story. The new feature on breakfast tomorrow from 6 a.m. Alan Brazil with Troy Deeney looking back on all of tonight's football and looking ahead to tomorrow's Champions League tie as well. Bayern Munich, Stuart Pearce, have got quite a bit of work to do in the second half. Exactly what can turn this first leg around for them, do you think?
Well, they've got to be a little bit more clinical when they get in and around the last third. I think some of their set-up play's been very good. It started very good and ebbed off as we got near half-time. So they've got to recapture that little sparkle they had at the start of the game. And the other side of that is they've got to make sure they don't concede another goal on the counter-attack. Real Madrid have certainly got the tools to hurt them on the counter.
Well, they have, and we saw that with City as well. Bayern Munich right up against it, feeling that pressure even more, and that could come into it as well, Stuart.
Of course, I mean, this is the top level of it, and I think if you went in that Real Madrid dressing room at half-time, they've set this up absolutely. This is a perfect scenario. 1-0 up, soaking up pressure. They know that Munich have got to come onto them, and that's going to free up space, and we've seen the pace that they've got on the counter-attack.
Coventry 0, Ipswich 1 coming up live on Talksport 2, second half. They're not out here at the CBS Arena yet. They are in the Allianz Arena. Bayern Munich 0, Real Madrid 1, second half, live on Talksport with Stuart Pearce and Jim Proudfoot.
And a change for Bayern as we get the second half underway, with Rafa Guerreiro coming on, and he's replaced Leon Goretzka. So it's a change for Bayern at half-time. Finishes his goal on 24 minutes, the difference between the two teams. Bayern 0, Real Madrid 1. Bayern did trail in the first leg of their quarter-finals and ended up coming back and making it through 3-2 on aggregate. Very quick out the blocks at the start of the first half, and will they be able to replicate that at the start of the second? Sane, who started on the right in this second period, working the ball back to Lima, then to Kim, who was beaten for the goal, now to Neuer. No 59th Champions League clean sheet for him tonight, and Lima's going to be able to bring the ball forward again through the midfield for Bayern, whose clean sheet record, defensive record, generally hasn't been great. They've only kept 3 clean sheets in 18 games now, so coming into this against this Real Madrid side who scored in every away game they played this season, they would have expected that they were going to have to score 2 to be able to garner a first leg advantage. Those two are going to have to come in the second half. They find themselves a goal down. Bring the ball forward again. Musiala caught. No, it's a good challenge by Tchouaméni. And then Real can bring it away with Kroos. Lucas Vazquez out to the right flank for Valverde. Kroos just laying it back through the midfield for Tchouaméni to Nacho, his captain, and they'll be able to bring it forward again. 90 seconds into the second half here on TalkSport. And it's 1-0 to Real Madrid, and we're both in the company of Stuart Pearce.
Yeah, we are. As I say, the game's set up absolutely beautifully at the moment, and Real Madrid doing what they did at the end of the first half, just taking the sting out of Bayern Munich with possession-based play at the back. Happy to go forward when the opportunity arises.
Got to the semis in each of the last 3 years and have lost the away leg in all 3 of them. Remarkably, they conceded 10 goals in those 3 games, including 4 away to Manchester City last year. Still, I think that's probably the best display of club football I've ever seen. That Manchester City demolition of Real Madrid in the second leg of the Champions League semi-final last year. It's Nacho brings the ball out and plays it down towards Toni Kroos. So Guerreiro on at the start of the second half, but possibly just to add a little bit more industry. He's a very versatile player. Plays a left back or as a left winger, but he has to do a job in the heart of the midfield now. Leroy Sané's got it out on the right, and he almost squeezed it through for Lima. It took a couple of ricochets, found Nacho, and now Lima is out of position, and Real will be able to bring it forward quickly. Bellingham for Vinicius, right-footed crossfield ball out towards Lucas Vazquez. The idea was right, but it was overhit, and it's gone out of play for a throw that will be taken by Bayern Munich in their left-back position. 3 gone second half, and it's 1-0 to Real Madrid.
Yeah, I think the big one for Real Madrid, they don't get frightened by Bayern Munich's quick counter-attack if they do get one, because they know they can handle any pace situation up there, and that's a real big thing in the modern-day game. You know, it's where we've seen the goal come from Madrid, and what makes them so potent, the speed on the turnover.
Neuer chips one out from the back, down towards Kimmich. Kroos winning it back, Squeeze through the midfield for Valverde. Valverde for Bellingham. Bellingham with the ball into the feet of Vinicius. Back for Bellingham again. Now Rodrigo. Vinicius continues his run down the left-hand side of the box. Kim went every step with him and knocks it away. Then a ball chip forward by Kimmich. Muller chasing after it, but chasing after it like a man in his mid-30s. And Nacho, who had a yard head start, was always going to be able to maintain that.
Yeah, point in case, as we were saying there, that there's no panic in there. You can, with Munich, you can see panic when Madrid turned the ball over and counter-attack quickly. There was no panic in the back line there. They just dealt with the situation.
And now Valverde's played an excellent ball forward down the right-hand touchline for Lucas Vazquez. 1-2 between him and Bellingham. Vazquez didn't even have to break his stride, making his way forward. Lima, though, knocks his cross away. And Musiala, who's much more out on the left-hand side in this second half, lays the ball back for Harry Kane. They've only lost twice all season, Real Madrid, in 47 games. Now, both defeats coming away to Atletico Madrid, one in the league, one in the cup. It's been an outstanding season. Unbeaten in the last 18. And they've lost all told away from home this season. Only 2. Bayern Munich have been beaten twice at home. Dortmund and Werder Bremen, the two sides to win at the Allianz Arena. And a lot's been made of the fact that they're going to end up coming a long way short of Bayer Leverkusen. And that means that they've gone off the ball. It's been a poor season. Worth reiterating, they're 4 points ahead of where they were 12 months ago after the same number of games in the Bundesliga when they won the title. It's Sane turning through the midfield, but just hasn't had the passing radar successfully calibrated tonight. He couldn't find Kimmich, and Vinicius very quickly broke forward. He's found Jude Bellingham. Bellingham, Kroos coming onto it, right-footed, good save from Neuer. Dive to his left, got a top hand to it to beat it away. But that was another example of just how dangerous Real can be on the counter-attack. And they know the areas that Bayern can't afford to lose it, and they're picking them off at will.
Yeah, they're absolutely electric on the counter-attack, Jim. You can see the panic stations in the body language of the Bayern back line. Even though they've got a numbers superiority, the fear factor of Vinicius and Rodrigo and Bellingham, the pace that they've got.
That's excellent play by Bellingham, who's a goal short of 50 senior goals in his club career. Only 20. He's already played 212 games at club level. He's nearly 250 for club and country combined. He's already played 32 Champions League ties before his 21st birthday.
You've got to ask the question, were Birmingham getting the best out of him, Jim, you know?
Yeah, well, listen, I mean, you know where my affinities lie. In the second city, he's already played 31 appearances in the Champions League, and he started his career at Birmingham City. But I say that in a self-deprecatory manner. The ball is out of play, and it's going to be a throw, which will be taken over on the left-hand side. We'll go back to the West Midlands, talking of which, Coventry against Ipswich is generally.
Ipswich leading by 1-0. We're 5 minutes into the second half. Josh Eccles for the home side has tried his luck from distance outside of his boot, ended up in the side netting. Could still go either way, this one, but Ipswich lead Coventry 1-0.
And that will take him a point from promotion. Here's Leroy Sané. Oh, it's a stunner. 6 months without a goal. He's picked his moment, and he's fired it with his left foot into the bottom right-hand corner. That is just what Bayern Munich needed. 8 minutes into the second half, they are back on level terms. Missed a great chance in the opening minute. He's taken a much harder one near the start of the second half.
This is the standard of football we're at the moment at this stage of the competition. Sané's done brilliant there, picked it up out on the right, burst into the box and unloaded a shot at the goalkeeper's near post with so much violence in it, he couldn't react. It had dip on it, and it's past the goalkeeper. Wow, I've got to say, the pace and power he put on that ball, Jim, game's in the balance again.
The 100th goal of Leroy Sané's career, his first in 26 games. 1-1, and the tie back in the balance. Brilliant strike by Leroy Sané. Real Madrid's lead has lasted for half an hour but has now been cancelled out. 1-1.
Well, you can't help thinking if he'd have finished like that in the first 5 minutes, things would have been slightly different. So, but the game's in a balance. But that's exactly what you've got to do, and what they're capable of doing, getting goals from absolutely nothing as such. They'll be disappointed with that, Madrid, that they've let him drift in the box there. But what a finish!
Lucas Vazquez playing the ball forward, and then Sané, adrenaline coursing through his veins, has come back and acted as a fifth defender and swept up on the edge of his own penalty area. The last time he scored one, he scored two. It was against Dortmund back in October. Dortmund in action tomorrow. They take on PSG in the first leg of the other Champions League semi-final. And we've got the game for you tomorrow. The build-up starts at 7 with Adrian Durham, Sam Matterface and Danny Mills. 8 o'clock kickoff at the Westfalenstadion tomorrow night. Then Thursday, Chelsea against Spurs, 7:30. Exclusive to Talksport from the Premier League. Villa at home to Olympiacos in the Europa Conference League semi-final first leg. That is over on Talksport 2. Kicks off at 8 o'clock. A choice of listening again on Thursday. Now Bayern, buoyed by the goal. Thomas Müller brings the ball forward towards the edge of the area. Musiala's got it. Musiala trying to find a way through. And the referee has seen as Musiala's gone down. He has pointed inside the penalty area. But what is the decision?
That's a penalty, Jim.
He's given it.
Yeah, he certainly has. Quite incredible. Really is. This game has turned on its head all within a couple of minutes.
Musiala making his way forward. And there was a challenge coming in from Lucas Vazquez, who flicked out a left foot towards the ball, made no contact, caught Musiala on his shin, and he went down and has got a penalty. And at half-time, Real Madrid were leading and were comfortable. 10 minutes into the second half, they might be behind.
Well, you've got to say, what Bayern have done that much better in this second half. Sané's goal, drove in the box with purpose and pace and unloaded a shot. And on that occasion as well, a Bayern player driving into the box and asking a question. And that question wasn't answered. And a penalty was given.
So Harry Kane, in his first ever Champions League semi-final, has the chance to give Bayern Munich the lead. He's never scored against Real Madrid in his career, but he's never been on the losing side against them either. Can he put Bayern ahead? Stuttering run-up, brilliant penalty. Low and hard into the bottom left-hand corner, sending Lunin the wrong way. They have turned it around with 2 goals in 3.5 minutes. Bayern Munich 2, Real Madrid 1, and it has the makings of being a Champions League semi-final for the ages.
Well, this is the competition that just keeps giving, Jim. It's fantastic. There's always goals in the Champions League. They're not cagey affairs. There's been plenty of goal mouth action in this game, and the game has just turned on its head from Madrid, thinking this is quite comfortable at half-time. We're in ascendancy, and that's the way it certainly looked. But listen, Bayern have turned this round, and you can't help thinking there could be more goals in the game for both teams.
Harry Kane's 8th Champions League goal of the season, among the 43 that he has now scored for Bayern Munich in 43 games. And there starts his 5th century of career goals for club and country. It's an enormous one. 2-1 to Bayern Munich. A Real Madrid side that have only lost twice in 47 games this season. But now a test of their resilience and resolve. Of course, they've been here before. They've been on the losing side, they've been on the wrong side of a scoreline in Champions League games in the past this season, and have lived to tell the tale. But they've got to try and come back in this one. Remember, the second leg, a week tomorrow, is live here on Talksport, kicking off at 8. Stuart and I talking through the action of the game at the Santiago Bernabeu. Real Madrid is still unbeaten this season. 2-1 Bayern Munich lead. And it's got a completely different feel about it now. What's been the change? What's been the catalyst? Just the Sane goal, or
I think
to it than that?
The Sane goal come from nothing, really. You know what I mean? He's just driven in the box. I think both goals, from the penalty spot, obviously, and Sane's goal was come because they've been more positive, drove into the box with purpose, and a real vision of asking questions of the defenders to make challenges, and certainly with a finish of Sane that was absolutely superb.
I'll remember all the fallout of this game and much more on Trans-Europe Express this coming Sunday night, which, if you've never caught it, is just a staggeringly good listen. So many people within the game will take that programme in on Sunday nights. Danny Kelly and Andy Brassel, your hosts for that, and they will be looking back on this one clinically. Here's Kane, played in again inside the penalty area, given a shove by Rudiger, and the referee says no case to answer, it's a goal kick.
No, as I say, well done referee. I think Harry was looking for something there, looking for contact, and the defender's got I think, shoulder to shoulder, fair challenge. And the one thing I've learnt about Champions League football, momentum's got no relevance to who's going to score next. We found that out certainly in the Real Madrid City game that I covered both legs on. The team in the ascendancy had no more sort of chance of scoring than the team that weren't. In fact, it was totally the opposite.
Well, we saw that in the first half of this one as well.
We certainly did.
6 shots in the first 15 minutes for Bayern without reply. Real scoring with their first sight of goal on 24. But Bayern have responded on 53 and 57 through Sane and Kane, and it's Bayern Munich 2, Real Madrid 1. Now Bayern will play the ball out towards their right-hand touchline for Kimmich. Kimmich back for Kim. To Neuer, and now to Lima. The loss of Goretzka at half-time hasn't been a significant one as far as Bayern have been concerned. Guerrero has come on and now will make one of his barnstorming runs down the left-hand side of the penalty area. They nearly found it. He timed it perfectly. And just spinning in behind the Real Madrid back line, but the ball was slightly overhit. Down he goes out of play for a goal kick. 61 on the clock. Bayern Munich 2, Real Madrid 1, and Nacho will be able to bring the ball forward.
We've just seen a picture of the crowd there. The Bayern fans are up in arms. We've just seen a youngster who could have been one of the Proudfoot Von Trapp children.
I absolutely knew that you were going to go there. Yep, I saw that one going about 20 seconds in advance. It's
too predictable these days. I do apologise.
It's gross. It was the unruly shock of ginger hair, wasn't it, that did it? His ball played inside the penalty area at the other end from Rodrigo. And it's blocked, it goes out of play. We've worked together too long. I'm going to make sure that management listen to me this time. The ball goes out of play for a throw. It's 2-1 to Bayern. And we're back inside the centre circle with Toni Kroos. Kroos will just play it into the feet of Rodrigo. Now Kroos with a long angle ball out towards the right-hand touchline, down towards the corner flag. Nicely taken by Lucas Vazquez. Gets a return ball flicked to him by Rodrigo. Now Real playing catch-up, looking for an equaliser. Chouameni trying to squeeze the ball through. Guerrero's had a really good start since coming on at half-time, and he's done well to win that one back. And Musiala just stumbling over on the far touchline. Has he hurt himself in the process? No, I think he's okay. And he goes out of play. And Musiala's back on his feet. Real inside the centre circle with Kroos. A long right-footed ball, and Bayern get lucky. Because Thomas Muller was retreating, he got his eye on the intended target of the pass, which was Mendy. And the ball hit Muller on the back and then bounced down into his control, and Bayern have got it back. 18 gone second half, 2-1 to Bayern. So there's been a turnaround here. Any sign of a turnaround in Coventry? Jeff?
Ipswich still leading by 1-0. Keeper Moore early on, but Nathan Broadhead just come close to a second, right-footed, struck the ball really well after a wonderful press, looked like it was going into the top corner, hit the crossbar. We've had a change of referee as well. 61 gone, Ipswich lead Coventry 1-0.
Real Madrid bringing it forward. One very cheap possession around the edge of the penalty area. Vinicius got a shot in. It didn't end up being a particularly effective one, and Bayern survive. And then as they try and bring it away, Harry Kane has been brought down, and Clement Turpin reaches for the yellow card again. This time it's Toni Kroos whose name's taken.
Yeah, good opportunity there for Real Madrid on the turnover. It was Vinicius Junior going in, shot blocked pretty well. Bellingham wanted to pull back, it wasn't forthcoming, and on the counter-attack it was Kane that was brought down. Kroos booked.
That's Kroos in the book, just his 5th yellow card of the season. 19 minutes into the second period, and Real are making a change. Nacho off, and Eduardo Camavinga has come on to replace him. Camavinga playing in midfield, so Tchouaméni has dropped back into the defensive line. So the Real Madrid captain replaced, and Camavinga on, playing in the heart of the midfield alongside Toni Kroos, and Tchouaméni in the heart of the back line alongside Tony Rudiger. 20 gone in the second half. Bayern 2, Real Madrid 1. First test for Camavinga, who's got his hands full in more ways than one, because Musiala made a run past him and Camavinga grabbed hold of him and pretty much wrestled him to the ground. Welcome to the high-tempo, high-stakes Champions League semi-final.
Yeah, it certainly is. I'll tell you what, this referee coming to the game, I think I've quite enjoyed him refereeing the game. He's taking no nonsense from the players. If they go down cheaply, he just looks at them with disdain and carries the game on.
Yeah, one of the very best. Clement Turpin. 20 minutes into the second half. This is a game that Real Madrid led at half-time. Bayern Munich lead it now. Is it just going to be a third defeat in 48 games in all competitions for Real? Can Bayern extend their advantage? Guerrero trying to make something happen. Kane, took a deflection and spun away from Muller, but just past the far post and out for a corner.
Yeah, once again Bayern driving into the box with real pace and purpose, and when it come to Kane, took it brilliant with his right foot, his left foot, he got his shot away, and I've got to say, what a brilliant block by Rudiger. That was on target. He's got a full calf to it that's put it just wide of the post. That's in otherwise.
Hit the inside of his calf, and he then got a little bit lucky because with the deflection, which stopped it being a goal-bound effort, it spun it just out of the flight path of Muller, and he couldn't get a tap in. It is a corner to Bayern. Kimmich takes it, right-footed away swinger, powerful header coming in, and it's saved at the second attempt by Lunin to deny Eric Dyer. As another goal goes in at Coventry, Jeff Peters.
We have the equaliser, Coventry 1, Ipswich 1. Hadji Wright's 19th goal of the season. A powerful strike. The keeper, who made a wonderful save in the first half, just let the ball go through his body, and Leeds United fans will be enjoying this. Coventry 1, Ipswich 1.
So all square there in that game that is live for you. Remember, right now over on Talksport 2, they just passed the hour. They're a few minutes behind this one. It's 1-1. Still everything in Ipswich's hands. If they draw, all they've got to do is match Leeds' result on Saturday. Ipswich are at home to Huddersfield. Leeds are at home to Southampton. If Leeds win, Ipswich have to win, but a win would send them up. If Leeds only drew, Ipswich would only need a draw. They're a point clear going into the final day if it stays that way. Here's Jude Bellingham. Lima with another good, strong challenge. He's going to be one of the candidates for the man of the match. And he goes down, was caught. And that is a concern potentially for Bayern, although he was initially holding his knee. Went off with a damaged knee at the weekend. I think it's nothing more than an impact problem. He's going to be okay, be able to continue. We're midway through the second half, and it's 2-1, and Eric Dyer have been able to work the angle slightly more effectively in that header from the corner. Could have been 3.
Well, it's a brilliant header. He's climbed fantastically well, unopposed, and he's got such a clean header on it. If he's misheaded it, he scores. He's got such a clean header on it, it's gone straight down the breadbasket of the goalkeeper.
68 gone. Bayern 2, Real Madrid 1. You're listening to Bayern Munich against Real Madrid in the Champions League on Talksport with Village Hotels. Visit villagehotels.com. And Luka Modric and Brahim Diaz are both going to be coming on in a moment for Real Madrid. A double change imminent as we go into the final quarter of the game. Well, the second leg is, this is anything to go by, really going to be something to behold. We'll bring it to you in 8 days' time. First leg of the other semi-final coming up tomorrow, Dortmund against PSG. And that's live here on TalkSport from 8. And don't forget the epic conclusion of a magnificent Premier League title race is also going to be here on TalkSport. Arsenal in action Saturday lunchtime, 12:30. And game day exclusive comes from the Emirates. Arsenal against Bournemouth. A game that was troublesome for the Gunners last season. They're on the front foot, Bayern Munich. They win another corner. Good play by Musiala, another who's had a really good game. 20 minutes to go, 2-1.
Yeah, Musiala, he's driven past Lucas Vazquez again. And as I say, he's tormenting him at the moment, but with his direct play and running. And as I say, drew the penalty earlier. He's been past him twice since.
Allianz Arena, sea of red, a real vibrant atmosphere. There is belief now where there wasn't necessarily a huge amount of it 15 minutes ago. They've gone from 0-1 to 2-1 in that time. Looking for 3-1 here. A Kimmich corner, right-footed, hit him very deep. Awkward one for Lunin, who just got there ahead of Kim. They get something on it, the fingers of his right glove, I think, to be able to tip that away and out for another corner.
Got to say, an incredible leap by Kim there. He was way, way above the goalkeeper.
These set pieces proving very troublesome for Real Madrid. Great leap from Kim there, a really good one from Eric Dyer 2 or 3 minutes prior to that saw an effort on goal. Kimmich's delivery's pretty sound as well. So what can he muster this time? He's gone from the left flank over to the right to take this latest corner, so it's going to be an away swinger. Dyer again waiting, unmarked, coming in from deep, gets his head to it. Oh, and it almost broke for Muller. It just ends up in the hands of the goalkeeper.
Well, it's Dyer again at the far post. A fantastic leap by him. He's put it down into the drop zone.
And now they come again with Muller, chipping it forward. Left-footed ball inside the area was a miscue from Musiala looking for Lima. That previous Dyer header, having seen a replay, actually was off target. It was a free header. It hit Lima, then ricocheted towards goal. And had Muller read the ricochet, he would have been in a position to make it 3-1. There's no criticism in him for not having done so, because it all happened so quickly. But they've had more than twice as many attempts for 55% of the possession. It's been a much better second half performance this from Bayern Munich. Started the game well. First quarter of the game they were the better team. Second quarter of the game Real Madrid scored and came into the ascendancy. Since half time it's been Bayern on top again. Here's Toni Kroos. Ball still hasn't gone out of play at a time where Real wanted to make the change. It has done so for corners, but for nothing else. So Modric still waits along with Brahim Diaz for their introduction. It's Camavinga. Plays it back for Tchouaméni, and he will come forward towards the edge of the penalty area, riding the challenge of the retreating Thomas Muller. Laid back for Rudiger. German international finds another one. Toni Kroos combining for Real Madrid. Out to the Real right. Valverde's made a good run and is unmarked, waiting for a pull back on the edge of the penalty area. Cushion layoff from him. He gets a return ball, trying to take on Musiala. Ricochets awkwardly inside the penalty area. Lima digs it clear. High ball forward. Rudiger defends it robustly. As a Bayern player ends up on the turf as a result of that, there's no foul. And the retreating Tchouaméni had the pace to be able to get to the loose ball before Kane and turn out to get Real Madrid going again. 17 to go, and it's 2-1 to Bayern. Ball played forward towards Ferland Mendy. Mendy towards the corner of the penalty area. Vinicius taking over, and then a very quick injection of pace, and he cut between two of the Bayern players. Kimmich fouled him, and it's a free kick to Real, and another goal at Coventry. Jeff Peters.
What a game this is. 20 to play. Ipswich back in front. They lead 2-1. Cameron Burgess from a tight angle, a melee in the box, soft defending, and Burgess has put Ipswich back in front here. Ipswich lead Coventry 2-1.
As it stands then, champions Leicester 97, Ipswich 93, leads with a superior goal difference 90 with a game to go. That's as it stands. That one's got 19 minutes left. This one's got 16 minutes left. And Tony Kroos stands over this free kick, which is 4 yards from the left-hand side of the penalty area, 15 yards from the dead ball line. So the angle is such that he might be able to fire in towards the top right-hand corner with plenty of venom, and if it doesn't get a touch off anybody, it could go in. But he's looking to drive this in towards the aerial targets here. He hits it into that congested 6-yard box. It was a poor delivery. It was headed away easily by Guerrero. It bounces down for Sane. Sane playing it forward. Really well won back by Chouameni. And then Kane catches Kroos, does he? The referee says he doesn't. And the ball has gone out of play for a throw.
Yeah, the referee's glares at you when he gives a decision away. And just going back to that previous free kick, I think Kroos had a point there on that free kick. I think it was one. Just going back on that previous free kick, he was caught between two minds. He's not crossed it or hit it with violence on target.
Modric comes on for Bellingham. What's your assessment of Bellingham's performance tonight?
I think he's been okay, steady away. He's not really caught the eye, I've got to say, but he's done okay. He's done okay in the game. I wouldn't say he's had a bad game at all.
Luka Modric, a good player to be able to bring off the bench. Modric started both legs in the semi-final against Bayern in both 2014 and 2017. And straight away he's on. Sweeping the ball forward towards the edge of the penalty area where Bayern bring it away and win a free kick. It's only 8 games short now, Luka Modric, of 1,000 appearances for club and country, which makes you feel tired just thinking about it.
Well, he's been some player in his lifetime. He just seemed to have got better and better. We thought he was brilliant at Tottenham. He left Tottenham, and I just think he went to another level again.
528 games now for Real Madrid. He's won 5 Champions League trophies in his career. This is actually his 119th appearance in this competition for Real Madrid. He's just been a stellar player over the last few years, in his 39th year now.
Seems such a low maintenance footballer as well, doesn't he? You know, plays all the games.
Yeah, he's come off the bench as many times as he started, with this appearance now this season, 20 of each, but still an impactful sub. He's ridden the challenge of Lima there and lays it back through the heart of the midfield. Chouameni out towards the right flank for Lucas Vazquez, who's deputising tonight for Dani Carvajal. He'll be back from suspension, you would imagine, for the second leg. He certainly will be eligible to play in the second leg. Bayern play the ball forward and have it again on halfway. And the game, just for a moment, going through a little bit of a lull, but it's been so intense and high octane over the last 15-20 minutes or so that is understandable. But the change is just giving everybody the chance to have a quick breather. 2-1 to Bayern Munich here in this game that we're concentrating on tonight. 2-1 to Ipswich at Coventry. Live view right now over on Talksport 2, which will take Ipswich within a point of the Premier League for the first time in more than 20 years.
I think this scoreline for both teams, psychologically, I think Bayern all think to themselves, this isn't a bad result, but is it enough? And Real Madrid will be thinking, well, OK, we've been beaten, but we might be able to turn it round. It's an interesting one. Do we stick or do we twist is the question.
Muller with a high ball forward that is headed by Vazquez back to the goalkeeper. OK, you hold the cards for... let's start with Thomas Tuchel. Are you sticking or twisting? Are you taking 2-1 to the Bernabeu, or do you feel that you need more?
Well, I think if Bayern are a counter-attack side and they're happy to sit back and soak up pressure, any lead is a good lead. So the worry for me would be leaving the back door open and conceding a goal. I think any positive result for Real Madrid really puts them in the driving seat in the second leg.
Now another great ball play forward and a good save by Neuer. As Real worked it down the left-hand side of the penalty area, a clever clip over the top. And Vinicius running onto it. A brilliant weighted, deftly chipped ball by Modric. And a left-footed effort which hit Neuer. And then ultimately goes out of play. I don't know whether he actually was in an offside position, was he? No, he wasn't. It is a corner, which is taken a swung in, and Neuer came to meet it and didn't get there, but the defenders did the job in front of him. Real win it back, and win it back well. Brahim Diaz with a left-footed effort. He's gone down, flag goes up, and it's going to be a free kick to Bayern on the edge of their own penalty area. 11 minutes away from garnering a first leg lead out of this.
Yeah, and Kim's not worked out yet, got done again. He's not worked out when Vinicius Jr. runs towards his own goal and towards his man with the ball, that he wants the ball over his shoulder, and once again he's fell for it. And I know, listen, it's easier said than done dealing with these players of this quality, but the one in behind you is the one that hurts you. That's the money ball.
Bayern making another change. We'll get an update from commentary while they do so, Jeff.
Ipswich leading Coventry by 2-1, 13 minutes of normal time remaining. This is such an end-to-end fantastic game, but that Cameron Burgess goal was Edmondson offside in the build-up. Ipswich don't care, they lead Coventry 2-1.
Thank you, Jeff. 13 to go in that one. It does continue live over on Talksport 2 for you right now. 10 left in this one. Bayern Munich 2, Real Madrid 1. And the change has seen Muller withdrawn, and Serge Gnabry has come on to replace him. Former Champions League winner himself. He's been struggling through injury, but they reckon they can get 10 minutes out of him. So he has come on. Thomas Tuchel saying before the game, when everyone said, there's no chance of Gnabry being in a position that he can feature, Tuchel said, I don't know about that. Let's just wait and see, because I'm convinced that he will get on the score sheet in this first leg. And eyebrows were raised. But is Tuchel going to be the oracle? We'll find out. 9 to go. Bayern Munich 2, Real Madrid 1. Gnabry trying to poke the ball forward, but Rudiger wins it back. Plays it across the edge of the penalty area. Past the D. Chouameni wearing 18, driving it forward for Real Madrid. Chested down by Vinicius on the left-hand touchline, running at Kimmich, who shows him inside. He's still got it. Now gets it back onto his left foot, then back onto his right. Tries to get it forward. The referee might give a penalty for that. Rodrigo's gone down, and Real Madrid will have the chance on the spot to tie it up again.
Once again, momentum has no sway in who's going to score next, or have a potential of scoring next, should we say. Brilliant play once again. Vinicius Jr. burst in the box, and it's Kim. He's been found wanting tonight on a couple of occasions, and they can't argue with this. He's just basically took him out, and it's an awful challenge, really.
Rodrigo, the player, great turn, and Kim stuck out a left foot and caught Rodrigo on the right knee to concede the penalty. So Kim Min-jae is booked. And how important a moment is it going to prove to be? Eric Dyer inside the penalty area, just getting involved in a little bit of housery. Just walking past the penalty spot very nonchalantly, trying to get into the head of Vinicius. So will Vinny be able to score his second goal of the game? Scored the first of the night. Will he also score the fourth of the night? Perspiration on his brow, running down past his right eye. Manuel Neuer trying to look cool, calm and collected on his line, jumping up and down, waving at Vinicius, who is addressing the ball from a very straight position at the moment. Now takes 5 steps to his left, runs up, hits it right-footed, pretty much straight down the middle, and it is 2-2, dead level again.
Well, Kim has been front and centre at everything that he's been poor in the Bayern backline, I've got to say. He's been done for the first one, he's given a penalty away, his goalkeeper's bailed him out just before that, and he's been very, very costly for his team, I've got to say. But it's that man again, Vinicius Junior. What a player he is.
That's his 80th goal for Real Madrid, his second of the night, 9 in his last 10. And 2-2 is the score. Really well taken penalty. Neuer dived to his right-hand side. Vinicius read that and hit it, probably just slightly right of centre. But pretty much straight down the middle to get it back all square again. 2-2. A topsy-turvy first leg involving Real Madrid, just as it was against Manchester City.
Yeah, it is. You would say that certainly Madrid, if it stays this way, will be strong favourites in the second leg, but I've got no idea.
Same story for Bayern in their first leg as it was in the first leg of the quarter. 1-0 down, 2-1 up, back to 2-2. 2 mini goals separated by an hour. We've got 6 minutes to go. It is 2 apiece. Kim's got the ball at his feet. Still no public prognosis, I don't think, about De Ligt. He didn't train. They were hoping that they were going to be able to get him back involved for tonight. He's not in the squad at all. Whether he is going to be available to take his place at the heart of the defence in 8 days' time and to take Kim's place remains to be seen. Now Bayern will bring the ball forward here at the other end with Gnabry onto his left foot into a shooting position, into a better shooting position, but off target, off balance then when he tries to drive it in, and his off-target effort skies over the top left-hand corner. It's 2-2, 5 left.
Yeah, it is all to play for, and any goal in any direction at this moment in time will be very, very costly for the team that conceded, that's for sure.
Just a reminder that the next European action on Talksport comes tomorrow. Dortmund against PSG. It's an 8 o'clock kickoff. Thursday night, Villa at home to Olympiacos in the Conference League semi-final first leg. That's over on Talksport 2 at 8 o'clock. And the second leg at both of the Champions League semi-finals, and indeed that Villa game, all next week, Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday, here on the Talksport network, interspersed with the playoff games next week. Those playoff games actually starting Friday night. League One playoff semi-final action coming from Oakwell, Barnsley-Bolton, which is a 7:30 kickoff Friday night. We'll bring you Luton-Everton from the Premier League, which is an 8 o'clock kickoff on that same evening. More changes. The former Stoke and Newcastle striker Joselu comes on to replace Rodrigo for Real Madrid. Joselu's having the season of his life. Bayern see Davis come on for Sana. Say the season of his life. Joselu, 14 goals he scored for Real Madrid this season. First capped this season as well, just a couple of days before his 33rd birthday. He's actually on loan at Real Madrid from Espanyol, and he's come on to lead the line with 3 minutes or so remaining. Alphonso Davies on for Leroy Sané, the Bayern change. Bayern winning it back. Gnabry wins a throw. Modric sliding in. Tuchel demanding that the substitutes on the bench where the ball dropped threw it back quickly so they could get on with it as quickly as possible. Musiala goes down. Referee says no foul. It's worked back to the goalkeeper. And Lunin has calmly placed it outside the penalty area for Real Madrid to try and bring it forward. 2-2 the scoreline. Brilliant game. It's lived up to the billing, and you can pay it no higher a compliment than that, really. They'll stride forward with Brahim Diaz, and he's gone down just outside the penalty area. The referee gives a goal kick. So back to Coventry. Jeff Peters.
Ipswich still leading by 2-1 here. It's not the scoreline that Leeds fans would be hoping for, but you still feel there might be another goal in this game. Kiefer Moore, Cameron Burgess for the visitors, Hadji Wright for the home side. 5 to go. Ipswich lead 2-1.
They have drawn 3 and lost 1 in the last 4 games, Ipswich. And will they be able to get a priceless victory today? Remember, they're just a point away from promotion if they hang on there. As Jeff says, 5 to go. 2 to go in this first leg between Bayern and Real Madrid here on Talksport. Ball has gone out of play for a throw, which is taken by Lucas Vazquez for Real Madrid. Midway inside his own half on the right-hand touchline. Bayern do well to wire into a challenge and win possession back. And eventually Guerrero can bring it forward. It's popped off back towards Lima. Lima given a shove off the ball there by Valverde. Plays allowed to go on. Musiala taking it on. Can't get himself in a position that he can run at Ferland Mendy, but he will lay it back for Kimmich. Kimmich going through the midfield for Lima. Lima out towards the left-hand side for Mazraoui. Ahead of him is Davis, who's playing as the left winger since he's come on. Mazraoui again. Now towards Guerrero. Roll down the left-hand touch as we go into the 90th minute. Sides deadlocked at 2-2. Valverde. Back for Camavinga. Real will hope to play the way out from their own penalty area with Luka Modric down towards the touchline. Flicked on round the corner. Well, won back by Bayern, but only after a foul. And just a few words of discontent there from Joselu, who wasn't happy with the challenge that was inflicted on him. 30 seconds of normal time to go, Stuart Pearce. 2-2 on Talksport.
Yeah, and out the two sides, it looks like Munich, the ones that are pushing forward, trying to get this winner an advantage to take on the road. Mendy, Vinicius, down towards Mendy. Will chase after this. He'll keep it in before it goes to the byline. Kim with a good defensive header. Got it away. Knew, actually, that he had to be brave. That a collision with Joselu was absolutely inevitable. And he's gone down with a head injury. And that will delay proceedings. And it is just a clash of heads with Joselu. Eric Dyer was suggesting that there was an elbow in there. I don't think there was, having seen the replay. Whether it was a preventable collision, only Joselu will know, but Kim's back on his feet and is going to be able to continue. 3 minutes of stoppage time at it. Yeah, good to see Kim up on his feet there. That was quite a bad clash of heads. Really brave at the near post, I've got to say. No intent, though, from Joselu.
So the 3 minutes of added time will only start when play resumes. Perfectly poised for the second leg. Well, maybe not quite. The 1-goal Bayern advantage might be regarded as par, but you never know. Real have lost each of their last 3 away games in the Champions League semi-finals, remember, as I mentioned earlier. So this will definitely go down as a good night for them, particularly in a game in which they were behind at one stage. Go down as a good night, providing they are able to hold on. They've conceded a free kick. Lucas Vazquez has pulled back Alphonso Davies and has got a yellow card for him. So a couple of minutes left. Still 2-1 to Ipswich, 2-2 in the Bayern Munich Real Madrid game. Kimmich, back for Kim. And Kim behind square for Eric Dyer. Bayern just hoping to maintain possession, hoping to just have that moment of inspiration that will give them the first leg advantage. Lima, back to Kim. Kim to his goalkeeper. Played out by Neuer. Out towards the left-hand side of the back line. Mazraoui. I think Dyer thought for a moment he'd given that away. It wasn't the best ball towards Kim. But he got there ahead of Vinicius. Ancelotti waving his cohort defenders back as Kimmich plays it forward. Kane inside the penalty area, very tight angle, right-footed, driven cross, too high for everybody, and will sail out of play for a throw.
I tell you what, for a moment there, Harry Kane moved the ball off its line, and I thought there was going to be a challenge that pulled him down.
Not quite. He's out of play for a Real Madrid throw, and they would expect to be able to see it through from here. Last time the two sides met in the semi-final, Real Madrid won the first leg in Bavaria, with Asensio scoring the winning goal, and then it was a 2-2 draw in the second, where Kimmich had scored early for Bayern, but 2 Karim Benzema goals got the job done on aggregate for Real Madrid. This first leg is now destined to end 2-2. The second leg will be unmissable. But the full-time whistle is blown. A night of high drama, of high quality. And Real Madrid will feel that a draw in Munich gives them the first leg advantage. They scored early, the finishers, midway through the first half. Sané and Kane in a devastating 4-minute spell before the hour mark turned it around by leading 2-1. The finishers equalised on the spot with 7 minutes to go. It's 2-2. The second leg, a week tomorrow, will be unmissable.
And we'll have it on Talksport, of course. Here at Coventry, we're into 11 minutes added on. We will get commentary of those final few minutes of added on time. It is still Coventry 1, Ipswich 2. Ipswich going second in the Championship table. Will only need a point against Huddersfield at the weekend to get promotion to the Premier League. But Stuart Pearce, what a game of football that was. It was worth the entrance fee alone. Fantastic action, end-to-end stuff. That was brilliant. Bayern Munich 2, Real Madrid 2.
Yeah, it was. It's set up brilliantly for next week. We've got that game covered, so that'll be a fantastic game for us. And the bottom line is the Champions League games are so open these days, so much quality on the pitch, and as I say, a fantastic spectacle again.
We were talking about Bellingham. It was Vinicius Jr. for Real Madrid who stole the show, really. You've got to look at Bayern Munich's defending too. Kim in the first half with the error, and then with the foul on Rodrigo in the second half. What's he thinking of? They're 2-1 up Bayern Munich.
Yeah, he was poor tonight. When you can make the odd mistake, which cost them for the first goal. He made a similar mistake in the second half, and then brought the player down for a penalty. It was not one of his better evenings.
It wasn't. Stuart, we will leave it there. Thank you very much. What's a game of football? Real Madrid go back to the Spanish capital with a 2-2 draw. They'll be favourites to make it to the Champions League final at Wembley next month.